I think it's definitely like a serious medium for just like making people laugh, but also informing them on like something that they had already like been there and just like swept under the rug kind of thing.
Definition of satire is actually doing that, taking something that's real, like you're not just blatantly lying, you're taking something that actually did happen and you're turning that into something more fun, funny, parody type of thing to read.
I would say our primary goal is to take frustrations and experiences that we have just day to day here on campus and turn them into comedic material that everyone can relate to.
I think the primary goal would be to like spread fun and like kind of help students not take themselves so seriously, because college is a time where like obviously like there's stereotypes about it and stuff, but like we actually do work really hard, so it's kind of a way of like helping people realize like you don't always have to work that hard, like you can take a night off and it's okay, and kind of helps students live like vicariously through other students and through us and through our words, so that you know they might not go out and do stuff, but like they feel like they are because we're telling them that they did. So
I'd say Black Sheep's like primary goal would probably be, I mean, of course it's like to get like page views and to get like clicks and to get shares to make it like a larger company and everything. But I mean, in like a holistic sense, I guess you could say it's like to make people laugh, to make someone's day, something like that.
We're mostly online. It started out as a print newspaper, but as the years have gone by, everything's become more online. We still do have the print newspaper that comes out once a month, but we're more focused on the online audience. So we publish 2 articles a day or more online, and they're on our website, and then we try to share them on Facebook because that's where the sharing happens and people are tagging their friends and stuff. Facebook, Twitter as well. The Black Sheep account tweets out the articles so people can see them on Twitter.
See, a lot of people think satire is like, you know, it's like clowny farce that, you know, isn't like taken real seriously.
At the Black Sheep, and I feel like most satirical news sources, we try to just push the limits of what we write so that we try to push logical extremes so that people just see it and say that there's no way that can be real and just automatically see it as satire.
I would say like the main difference between us and real news is that we lean heavier on like list articles and less on like factually based like news articles.
I don't know, satire has always been one of my favorite forms of comedy, and as soon as I saw an opportunity to take part in that, I just wanted to take advantage of it.
Well, I've always like, I don't know, ever since I was little, I've always like loved this kind of stuff, like this like funny stuff, and I love like John Oliver and the, you know, the Daily Show and Saturday Night Live and all of that, and so I thought I'd give it a shot and like see how I liked it and see if I was any good at it. And so that was the main reason. Also, I had like read the Black Sheep before, and I love like the Clickhole, Clickhole and Onion, like sites like it. And so I thought it would be a good like opportunity.
Any sort of like news satire would be my favorite because like I like stuff like The Onion. I used to like the Colbert Report back when it was on, like Daily Show, all that stuff. Like basically anything that takes day-to-day events and kind of skewers it, that would be my favorite form of satire.
As campus manager, it's my job to kind of evaluate what they're saying and either approve it or try to like reform it in a way that will work better for corporate and the readers and stuff like that, and sometimes sadly rejecting it. Kind of like rallying the team, keeping everybody together, keeping them updated. I'm in charge of the initiation party, which is really fun. So throwing that, getting that all together. What else do I do? I post all the articles online. And so once it's out of editing, it gets sent to me and I have to format it on the website, pick a picture, pick a title, and like make it look really nice for the website. And also for the print issues, I'm in charge of formatting all that out. It's not very hard. I have to make time for it every day, but it's totally just for fun.
As an editor, when I'm given a piece that's a little too edgy or too out there for us, I kind of have to like tell them, it's usually someone who's new, and I have to kind of message them and say, hey, like maybe we should consider changing this, corporate standards, and like we don't want to offend our audience and stuff, and I kind of have to tell them. But usually after the first like 1 to 3 months, they kind of understand that like that's really not something that we talk about. And usually it's not an issue. I've only had 1 or 2 writers in the year that I've been here where that's been a problem, that I've had to be like, look, we can't talk about that and stuff.
But I do personally believe that like satire shouldn't like make people feel threatened. It shouldn't threaten lives or anything.
Our standards of decency kind of goes a little bit about like by what the piece is about and stuff. We kind of have to look at it on a piece by piece basis, but we have general things of like, we try not to take sides politically and stuff and try not to get too involved with that either way, and we try to stray from incredibly deep women's health issues like abortion and stuff. And basically we try to do things that aren't going to offend people to a ridiculous degree and stuff. Like we want to be shocking and we want to be fun, but at the end of the day, like we're trying to make jokes, we're not trying to offend people. So we really try to steer clear of like stereotyping people that in like in a harmful and negative way, not like a joking way. Kind of staying away from topics that really aren't funny and that aren't going to help anyone in the long run.
There's general guidelines about things that we're not allowed to write about, and so most things are up for grabs, but we're not allowed to write about abortion. We're not allowed to write about date rape, drugging somebody, being so blackout drunk that you go home with somebody, anything rapey like that. We can't go near that. Anything blatantly racist, I wouldn't want to publish that, so that's like off limits. Anything that's really offensive to a certain group is off limits.
I don't know. It's like a fine line between like being right and being wrong, and that line is ever so like skewed. You know, you like who is to draw that line kind of thing. And so, yeah, I think there's definitely like, you know, your like moral compass that pushes you like what to write and what not to write.
As far as satire specifically, I think one of the biggest challenges would be a lot of like articles kind of in some ways almost add too much self-expression. So like, you know, if we're writing an article about how the MSU marching band fell into a pit of lava, like they might be like, damn, that was really scary. And like, it's like, no, like if we're trying to sound like the news, we have to make it sound like it's actual news and then make like the quotes and stuff funny. So that's been a challenge for me, is having to like send back pieces and be like, no, when we're writing news, like you can't make it, you add your own news, because can you imagine Katie Couric being like, wow, you know, oh man, they fell in lava, like that's so gross, like that's not gonna happen.
Occasionally, like I would say making stuff relatable, because like sometimes like you can come up with like what seems like a really funny idea, but like it just isn't relatable at all for like a college, anyone here on campus. Another thing would be like during times of like slow news, like sometimes it can be hard to think of something funny that's happening, because sometimes it can go like a few weeks without anything major happening, especially like between like major athletic seasons or like between major holidays and stuff like that. We can sort of run out of potential content wells, so that can be a little bit hard to deal with sometimes, but you just kind of have to fight your way through it.
Especially like concerning Black Sheep, a lot of it is like kind of formulaic sometimes, and so sometimes you get in that rut of like writing articles that are all like kind of similar. Other than that, like, and that's just nitpicking. That's not even that's not like huge. Honestly, it's like free range. I have a great time writing satire, even if I'm not like incredible at it. I just have a great time writing it. It's a lot of fun.
Like that's kind of how I think satire is. It's just kind of like, you know, having fun and stuff, but doing it in a way that causes people to think about things in a different way.
It actually covers real things, and I think that comedy and satire, its most important function is to be able to make things more enjoyable, or to like make light of things that might be dark for people. So like sometimes news can be a little bit depressing, so I think if someone is able to come in and sort of create some sort of comedic light out of that, then I think that's a positive change for society, and I think that's why I personally enjoy it the most.
I think the way that it can help people see things differently, like for example, you know how like I said, like, oh, like our football team, you know, we can help have people not necessarily think of them so badly, but also I just like the way that we can talk about campus events in a way that I feel like most places can't. So a lot of other publications kind of have to give the news like the way that they want to, whereas we can be a lot more biased because we are not writing actual news. We are writing joke news. So it's kind of like we have the ability to kind of change people's perceptions and add our own flavor to it, which like you can't do that with like actual journalism and stuff.
It's like silly, you know, but I think it's definitely, you know, I think it's something that should be taken seriously. Like it's like no laughing matter kind of thing, because I think for like a couple of years, I know The Daily Show pulled in higher ratings than like all the major news companies combined for like a run of like 4 years or something like that. And so, I mean, obviously that like creates a lot of buzz, and like that caught a lot of attention.
We had one that was about like a free pregnancy test review and stuff, and that was like fine in and of itself, but then it got a little too risque and it got like a little bit too heavy on the abortion side and stuff like that. And we kind of had to like nip it in the bud, and we're like, no, let's not talk about that in an article and stuff. It just doesn't have a place there and stuff.
I wrote an article that I still think is a really funny article. It's 6 ways to get rid of your dad's raging erection during homecoming. And like, it's funny. Like I think it's a funny article. It's definitely like very raunchy, and it's like a lot of meaner jokes. And I didn't share it on my personal pages because it was just so like, oh, it was so raunchy. But I still think I thought it was, I don't know, I thought it was still pretty funny. I mean, haters are my motivators, you know?
To me, I would say satire is anything that kind of makes fun of something in the real world, or in like a kind of lighthearted way. It doesn't have to be like mean or like barbed, but like just something that pokes fun or makes light of stuff in the day-to-day world.